You know, it's a little bit eyebrow-raising how even the weakest chapter of a Walking Dead video game beats the piss out of the vast majority of the episodes of the most watched show on television. Might be a problem. Telltale's The Walking Dead: A New Frontier is the third chapter in the main storyline of The Walking Dead video games. You once again get to interact with Clementine, who actually takes a back seat and becomes a side character in this, and you take control of Javi Garcia, short for Javier, a brand new character, a brand new family, a brand new story, and a brand new world of shit. Yeah, this universe in this video game is one of the darkest and most bleakest places you can ever fucking imagine. So far, I am a huge fan of what Telltale Games has been bringing to the video game industry. Not only with what they're doing with The Walking Dead, which is easily probably their best franchise they've done so far, but I really like the Batman, I like what they did with Borderlands, I like the Game of Thrones, even though that one was kind of mixed response. I even like what they did with The Wolf Among Us, a really cool little twist on Fables. They do some really great storytelling, and they do among some of the best storytelling you're going to find, not only in video games, but out there, period. So as far as the story of A New Frontier, like I said, you take control of a brand new character named Javi. Ever since the outbreak first started, his brother has been missing, his parents are dead, and he is now wandering America with his brother's wife, his niece, and his nephew, trying to keep them alive. But in the first chapter of the game, you come across this group of people who are very sinister, untrustworthy, and they are really not taking kindly to some new people. And all of a sudden, the shit hits the fan. They wind up meeting up with Clementine, who's your character from the first two games. And you learn from Clementine that these group of sinister people are actually part of a larger group of survivors called the New Frontier, who were once really good, but now are completely twisted. And that's all I'm going to tell you about the story, because I want you guys to experience this the way that I experienced it. There's a lot of surprises, there's a lot of twists and turns you won't see coming. There's a lot of introduction of characters that kind of coincide with where the comics are right now. So more than ever, really, the New Frontier actually takes place a lot more in the universe of the comics than the previous two seasons have. Now, as far as the positives, what I liked about A New Frontier. First of all, like I've already said, Telltale are masters when it comes to storytelling. That is what draws you into these video games. That's the main draw to their style of gameplay, because for the most part, it's quick time events, it's choosing dialogue options, things that just drive the story forward, and that's what you are in the seat for. And you are buckled in, trying to see where this story goes. And the story in A New Frontier is really cool, it's really dark and engaging, and just like the first two seasons, you are sticking around all the way to the end because you are on the edge of your seat trying to figure out who's going to live, who's going to die, what kind of dark choices am I going to have to make, what the hell is going to happen by the end of A New Frontier.
Don't make me do this! You should be more careful with this.
Another big positive, which was kind of the thing I was worried about walking into this, is the new characters. Javi is a really good new character. His niece and nephew are great characters. His love interest, Kate, his brother's wife, is a really great character. And some of the characters that you interact with later on, who I'm not going to mention their names, are also really good characters. There is no weak characters or weak moments or people that really annoy you in this game. They feel like real people. They feel like they belong in this universe. And every single one of them has their own kind of personality, their own style to them. So the gameplay constantly kind of changes up its pace because of the people you interact with. And while I'm speaking about characters, I have to dive right into Clementine. Clementine is not only one of the greatest characters in the Walking Dead universe, she's one of the most fleshed out characters in video game history. When you first met her in Season 1, she's this innocent little girl. When you played as her in Season 2, she's a little bit more bitter, a little bit more wise to the wear, a little bit more used to this zombie, hopeless world, but still very naive and very young. The Clementine that you meet in this is still young, but she is more mature than most of the adults. She is very untrustworthy. She is on top of her game. She's about 15 steps ahead of everybody, and she's such an awesome character to interact with. And that's going to be the end of my positives, but make no mistake, I understand there's only a select few things that I said, but that's because I'm trying to be as minimalistic in what I tell you guys as possible. I could gush about the storyline, about some of the twists and turns, about some of the characters that pop up, about some of the decisions you're going to have to make all day, but I want you guys to go in as spoiler-free as possible. So the 3/4 things that I just talked about in the positives are huge positives. Now moving into the negatives. Let me go ahead and get the big one out of the way. Telltale Games, ever since they came out with the first season of The Walking Dead, has skyrocketed into being one of the most anticipated and one of the most critically acclaimed video game developers in the industry. And they have released tons of games since the original Walking Dead season, so they have had tons of time and tons of practice to hone their craft. And yet, the Telltale Games continue to be one of the most bug-filled, glitchy, game-breaking, aggravating experiences that you can possibly encounter. And it makes absolutely no sense to me why this late in the game we are still seeing the same bugs, the same glitches, the same problems that were there in the first season of The Walking Dead. And if I'm being brutally honest, guys, A New Frontier has some of the worst bugs and some of the worst glitches that I have ever encountered in a Telltale game. They are terrible.
Hey!
There were numerous occasions when I had to literally close off the game and restart it completely to get past a bug or a glitch. There's scenes whenever characters would just disappear completely and you had no way to interact with them, you had no vision of them in the scene. There's times when the graphics got so jarring it looked like it was a kaleidoscope and you couldn't tell what the hell was going on. There was times when the map froze, there was time when the decisions froze or the timer froze. There was so many game-breaking glitches that I encountered that at least 3 times per chapter I had to restart the game. That is unfucking acceptable. And like I said, they are a huge video game developer. They make tons of money. They have been around for years. There is no excuse that they are still having this level of problems with getting their game complete and bug-free. Now moving on from that, there are a few other small negatives that I have. Small one, really small nitpicky one, is that I still would have preferred to play as Clementine in this chapter. I love Javi, I love all the characters, I think that they would be great for a side chapter, but the fact that you don't get to play as Clementine was a disappointment for me because I'm so attached to that character, especially after playing her for the entirety of Season 2, which is still my favorite. I want to play more as Clementine. I want to be that character. I want to form my own Clementine with my own decisions, not with the way she interacts with the characters. So that's a small negative for me. Another small negative is that I feel like Chapter 1 was so damn good and so gut-wrenching that it was so surprising to me that Season 2 seemed to be just a little bit better. And I was expecting that trend to keep going, but A New Frontier to me is just fractions below the first season. There's not quite as much emotional gravity to it. There's not quite as much gut-wrenching decisions to it. There's not as much of an epic scope to where the characters go. It just feels like kind of a run-of-the-mill story in The Walking Dead. You get a group of people who are kind of shitbags, and you have to go in, figure out who the leader is, figure out why they are the way they are, and try to utilize all of your characters and all of the information in front of you to kind of dissolve the situation. Really, as I was playing it, this seemed like more of a family-based version of the Governor storyline to a degree, and even to a degree, maybe even some of the Negan and the Savior storyline. It just felt a little bit repetitive from what we've seen already in the comics and from the TV show as far as that type of storyline. And the other negative I have is that I didn't really love the ending of this. The final chapter felt like it lacked a lot of resolution. They left a lot of tales for Season 4, which I guess they're going to be sticking with the New Frontier characters, so we're probably not going to get to play as Clementine again, unless they surprise us. But there was a lot of things that they introduced, there was a lot of characters that they introduced that you don't find out their fates, you don't find out what happened to them, and even some of the biggest conflicts of this entire 5-chapter game are kind of left unresolved, and that was a little bit of disappointment for me because every one of these seasons has felt very much like its own wrapped up storyline with just a few tiny little tales to leave you salivating for a further season. When this season it felt like it definitely was a build up to what's to come. But even with all that said, guys, ultimately, the biggest positive I can say about The Walking Dead is that if you are a fan of what they have done so far, with not only The Walking Dead series, but with all their other games, you're going to enjoy A New Frontier. The bugs are really, really bad, which is probably what's holding this rating back the most, but it's a damn good story. There's a lot of great characters. The way the story transcends from Season 2 into what's to come for Season 4 is a really neat little bridge. There's a lot more interaction as far as the real comic book storyline and the real comic book characters, so fans of the comic book are going to have a lot more to grab onto for that. It's definitely worth checking out. So definitely slam down that $25 for the physical copy or for the season pass. It's absolutely worth that amount of money. It's perfectly priced. It's a great time. And if you are a fan of The Walking Dead or the Telltale storyline so far, you are going to be so sucked into this that from start to finish, you might even finish it in one all-nighter. So what do you guys think of Telltale's The Walking Dead: A New Frontier? Was this a disappointing chapter for you because you didn't get to play as Clementine? Or did you like the change up and the fact that you got some new characters to flesh out this world a little bit more? Put all of your pros, your cons, or any of your thoughts on A New Frontier down in the comment section below. Please like and share this video. If you want to check out some more of my social media links, you can check out links for those down below. I'll also have an Amazon affiliate link for the game itself down below. It's a great way to support my channel, as well as my Patreon page. And if you guys want to check out some more of my videos, you can check out a few more by clicking right over here.